Yeah, students, good morning to all. Morning, Sanjay. Yeah, today just we are going to complete our syllabus as per the academic calendar. So that is about your JSF. Yesterday we have discussed something about your JSF, right? So what is JSF and how we are using it. So what is the architecture it follows and what are the life cycle steps we have under your JSF. So this is some introduction portion we have done, right? And I think we have done with an example also how to make this. So yeah, so this is what we have done. So if I use JSF, so what are the benefits I'm having? So how your JSF has been designed. So it's one of your rich using your rich interface, right? So one of your rich using interface where we can develop our applications, and this can be done with the help of your APIs. So then we made it some what are the benefits I can go with API. That is a reusability is one, and a easy data transfer between UI, and it can manage the UI can manage transferring data your multiple servers, and if possible we can do your own custom components, and easily we can make your client and server connectivity. So some of the advantages or some of the benefits we have done. Then we have seen your component model, how your component model will be there. What is when a client making a request, it moves to first phase applications, that is your container, then application phase, then framework. So inside your Java phase framework, there we are going to done with six life cycles. So which we are performing to get your things. That is your I can call as a life cycle. But before going to that life cycle, we have just make it the architecture. This is also we have done. So how we are going to define. So remember here, we need to discuss here about this thing right now. Phases. So we have done, you know already what is being, what is JSP page, and what is the configuration, and we need to discuss that one. And about this one, we need to discuss about tags and about facelets, which we had that we need to do. And this is also we have done what happens in phase, each and every phase when we request is. Yeah. Uh, so what we are discussing about your each and every phase, whatever the phase we had. Just 1 second, I will share. So life cycle of your, what I can say is each and every life cycle phase, what we are performing. If you are getting a request, how the data will be taking into, so still you are invoking an application and that to be responded. So this is also we have done in last session. So same which we are discussed as a life cycle, we are discussing each and every phase. The process event can be replayed either if it is complete, so otherwise it renders your response. This is also we have done. I told you, please be concentrate on this life cycle in architecture. One of your important question where we can find, right? So then we are done. We can include in your JSF when you are developing your JSF language. we can improve our language, and we call that language is EL, expression language, which we already discussed in your JSP, how your EL can be defined. So that can be defined using what I can say has symbol followed by the expression notation which you are doing. And if you are doing this EL, then we are having some advantages, right? And we are done with this example program, right? And we are done components. What are the components we had? So once again, we are coming across the components. So I show different components like input, output, and the date, and making your errors. So like this, there will be different components I have shown in the Word file. So up to this, what we have done in my last session, right? Now today's session, we are going to discuss about your facelet. So what is facelet actually, right? Is it any programming language or is it any tag-based language? So we need to have a clarity, right? So I can just make it whenever you want to make your program easier manner, your facelet will be useful for us because I can say it is one of my lightweight. It is one of my lightweight page declaration. It's a declaration language. I'm not saying it's a programming language, it's a declaration language, and which is used to build our JSF. It's a lightweight page declaration language which is used to build JSF using style of your HTML. Means it is a type of a language, but it is using HTML style, right? And it uses, I told yesterday, I have shown you, it uses one markup language. What is the markup language? Extended hypertext markup language for creating of your web pages. And also it supports some tag libraries also. In addition to JSF and JSTL tag libraries, already they are built in. JSTL tag libraries we already seen in your previous sessions. That is, there will be 5 tag libraries we had, core, SQL, and we had functional, we had formatting, and we had one more. Totally 5 we had it, right? So including this STL tag libraries and JSF, it includes or it supports some facelet tag libraries, which we are going to see in coming slides. And also it supports your EL expression language. And it uses templating. It uses some template formatting for your components. We have seen some components just now. That is your previous slide, your last session, last slide. And also it uses a page for templates. So template designing, we are using this thing. So facelet plays a major role while developing of your applications, right? So it is one of your declaration language which is used to build your JSF using your HTML style. And this can be done with one XML, that is XHTML, we call it for creating of your web pages. Also, it supports some facelet tag libraries, including or in addition to your JSF and JSTL tag libraries, and it supports your EL and it provides some templates. Now, if I use facelets, what happens? Means as I'm using a templating format, so automatically here one more advantage I can find, code reusability can be done. Code reusability. So once you declare a template, the template can be used. So same template I can use somewhere to reduce our code. So same code I can place. Code reusability can be done, and it provides or it supports some composite components like H colon input, H colon output, and H colon body, and H colon form, like that. Some composite components we have that also will be supported by your facelet, and it provides functional extensibility. So not only defining it, the extensibility is also provided, and other server-side objects through customization. I mean, server-side objects means yesterday I have shown one program, return what I can call message. I'm saying, what is the return message there? Message is a type of a function, right? Where I can use an object with that. That is object dot that particular method will call the particular method. So it provides some functionality, as I told with an example, one more example we will see, don't worry. So at that time, your server, these facelet objects will be make the things in clear manner. And as I'm using the tags, and as I'm using some facelet declaration language XML, automatically it supports compilation will be very fast, and it validates your expression language at compile time only, and high performance when because of all these above features, the performance of this facelet will be very fast, right? And what are the tags? I told JSF will support the JSTL tags as well as EL and facelet tags. But what are the facelet tags will be supported by your JSF, right? So this JSF provides a special tags to create common layout for web application, which we call as a facelet tags. So it provides common layout. Commonly, we are using for your web application development, and that commonly developed web application tags are known as facelet tags. And if I use these tags, what I can manage is I can manage multiple pages at one place. That is a one thing I can have, and it have more flexibility to manage our common parts. Common parts means as a written statement, as a body. So like this we can have. So if I go with example, you can understand what is the meaning of managing common parts, right? And if I use these tags compulsory as we are using our JSTL tags, we need to include URI and prefix, how we are using. So similarly, if I want to use my facelet tags, I need to follow some namespace in the URI. So how we are using it, HTML node. So how we are using, so HTML is a what I can say node we need to remember, and we are using a type of a namespace. This is my namespace, right, which is representing in the UI. So from where I imported all these things, right? And we are saying it is extended markup language, and it represents a type of a tags where I can make the use of your web page in a easier manner, so that I can make the things compulsory as a facelet tags. Because if I don't use facelet tags, can't be developed. Yes, we can develop. There is no problem. But the thing is, I need to make things in easier manner. So as which I am using namespace, that is extended markup language namespace is equivalent to this namespace we have, and we need to represent your UI address from where you have taken. And we had so many facelet tags are available, right? So what are the facelet tags are available? Just if I go with the facelet tags, just give me some of the facelet tags. I will just show to you. Yes. So these are this table which shows our facelet tags. What is the first one? Java server facelet tag library. When I want to use, I want to make this URL. Already I mentioned that, right? And what is a UI component? UI insert. So in this, I can make your tag library. I can make your HTML tag library, and I can use my core tag library. But what I'm doing is, if I am using my facelet tag library, my prefix should be UI, right? What are the things I can use if I'm using UI? UI examples, tags for templating purpose. These facelet tags are used for templating. Just now we discussed that. And how I can represent prefix followed by the attribute which I'm using in my tag library. I'm using right. Component insert is an example. If I want to use my HTML tags, which is already existing, but I need to go with prefix as a H. Yesterday we have done one example, right? H input text, H output text. What is the H there? It is Java server faces HTML tag library. So suppose if I want to go with core tag library, so then I want to represent with core as an extension, and prefix I want to make as a here, and examples for it is action, listener, and attribute, right? Similarly, if I want to make pass through elements tag library, then I need to use my prefix as a JSF. and pass-through attribute tag library. So pass-through elements here it is, and it is pass-through attributes. So my prefix is changed. And composite component tag library, that purpose we are using CC. And JSTL tag library is core tag library. You already know it. C is a common thing we are using. For functions, we are using FN. And for the tag library, for conversion of lowercase to uppercase, on the function example, I'm saying lowercase to uppercase and uppercase to lowercase. Like this, we need to use different phase lit tag libraries we can use in this representation. So this is some document which represents the phase lit tags. Then conversion tags. I'm discussing about converter tag. So what the conversion tag will do? JSF data conversion core tags are mainly divided into three types. What is that? As I'm using F. So what is the F purpose? Just now we have taken in my table. So what my table represents here? If I'm using F as a prefix, what it is? JSF core tag libraries. So JSF core tag libraries as we had it. So my core tag libraries in this, your tags of data conversion will come from the core tags. And first, if I use F colon converter, it is used to add an arbitrary converter to the parent component. So you already had a one component to you. You want to convert that particular parent component into arbitraries. Randomly, if you want to make this conversion, we can do. And suppose you want to make your it is what I can say parent component will be there. Na? For that parent component, if you want to add any date time converter instance, you can use using this tag. And if I want to add number converter to my parent component, then I need to convert. So these all are using for what? Conversion of your data. Next, JSF validation tags. So validation tags, as you say, this is my third phase in my life cycle. So to validate some data or to validate some attributes, so there we are using the validated tag, right? So there will be here just make the tags are what is the purpose, and in the next slide detail about it. Bean validator is the first one, right? Validate bean tag name. What is the purpose? It is used to register bean validator for the component. Next, validate double range. So it is used to check whether local value of the component within the certain means you are going to take some value, right? If that value is within the range, certain range or not, that you are making is a double. Double means it's come under floating point, right? That value must be a floating point or convertible to floating point. Either it is there or not. You want to check. That can be done with the tag. Right? To find out what is the length of my component. So components local level within certain range or not. To check that length, we are using this particular tag, but the value must be in this particular package. And validate long range to make your component within a certain range or not. For checking we are doing, but previously also I'm doing, but it is a double type, it is a long type, right? So the value must be any numeric type or string that can be converted into a long. And next, validate register X. So it is used if local value component match against your regular expression. So REGX stands for what? Regular expression. So whatever the component we are using, is that component is matched with my regular expression or not? If I want to check, then I can go for it. Next, validate required. Validate required is it ensures local value is not empty on the editable value holder component. Means if you are holding any component, that component value, local value, should not be empty. Then if it is empty means it doesn't makes validation sense. So that's why to verify that we are using validate required. Next, JSF prime faces. What is this is also related with phase data only. So what about the prime faces? This prime face is actually we call as UI library, right? It is an UI library for what one? For JSF based application. And if you want to develop these JSF prime phase, right? It is designed and developed by so and so person, Prime Tech, and it is my class platform and open source, which is purely using my programming language called Java. So that's why I told implementation of your JSF is very easy, but because it takes only two languages. One is your programming languages, which we call Java. One is HTML, what we call as a faceless, right? It provides, and what the prime face will do means it provides some rich set of UI components, right? And built-in Ajax support. It's a built-in. We don't require to go for it. Your default, if you try to download your NetBeans default is containing a library of it. What is Ajax? Here we don't require to discuss the thing, but it provides a rich set of UI components which we are using to develop, and as well as it have a built-in Ajax support, and it becomes popular and supports your Oracle also, right? And next, what are the features? These are the features we have. Already I told it is used to make your rich UI components. Defaultly, Ajax support will be there. And whenever you want to make any dialog controls buttons or maybe push buttons, maybe validation, maybe mobile user interface kit, maybe framework of different schemes, that the themes levels if you want to develop. This also we have done, right? So I just made it. It is supports Ajax as well as themes. Teams also can be supported. All these can be provided in your futures of your JSF and faces. So if you want to know about your how to make your configuration of your, because as we are not having as how to make your configuration itself, we don't have. But if you want to know it, you can just go through that particular URL and you can just before what are the prime faces I had and you can go through it. So this is about your facelets and your facelet tags, whatever the facelets we had and whatever the facelet tags we are under your JSF, which we are going to be developing. That's it. So this is your about last unit. So last unit is containing only three topics. Briefly, if I say only it contains three topics. First, what is a JSF? We are making an introduction. And what is your JSF architecture and JSF lifecycle? Next, we are going with what? After going with life cycle, what is the facelets and what is a facelet tags and what is a facelet prime features we have. That's it. This much only we had in your unit. I told you unit 8 is very small unit when compared with JSP. You take your 6th and 7th and 8th. These are three are smaller units and 6th and 7th are interlinked with each other. Hibernate and Spring MVC. These are the two frameworks which are interlinked with each other. But as come to your this one, what I can say, your Spring MVC, it is sorry, JSF. It is also be a framework, but it is entirely different when compared with your Hibernate and your Spring MVC. So this completes your syllabus of your 8 units, and including 8 unit, I made a questions for you as a question bank. Only for 4 units, I made a question bank. That is your JSP and your Hibernate and your Spring MVC and JSF. I make it the assignment for you. You can just check in your classroom and try to submit it or try to prepare for the exams. Well, right? If you have any queries, you can just ask me. We have plenty of time. Any queries from your side, either related to your subject or any queries, you can ask. Or you can post in the chat box if you have any queries. Yes, dear students. Any queries from your side regarding your facelets or regarding your facet futures? Only one person responded, Mr. Sanjay. What about others? Right. So no, everyone is responding, so no doubts. So right, yeah. So I wish you all the best for your coming mid exam. Do well and prepare well, and don't take it as and don't think it as it's a bit a difficult subject to get into. It's easy subject, but I'm saying already I'm making the things clear. For preparation of your sixth and seventh and eighth units, roughly if you just sit, it takes maximum 3 to 4 hours. Maximum. Only the lengthier unit where we can find is a JSP. But in JSP also we can select some topics in such a way that we can get it. Like tags, life cycle, connectivity issues. We can make the things clear. Like that, you just select and prepare according to that. And I wish you all the best for your mid exam and your final exams also. So if you have no queries from your side, just we can wind up because as we have done with that session, so you can just give your attendance in your chat box. So this completes your syllabus. And those who have given, yes, they can leave the meeting. Yes, Vivek and Dara, Asti, Jay, Bansi, please do post your attendance. Asti.